some reason my alarm went off. So this is a part two of how I deal with bad news. Part one was uploaded yesterday. This is for part two. And yeah, I don't it's very easy to deal with bad news if you have an activity to get your mind off of things, right? And it's like when you think about something that happened and you can't do anything about it, just continuing to think about it isn't going to make it better. If anything, it'll make your situation worse, right? Because now you're spending time and effort and energy towards something that is not beneficial towards you, right? Let's say it's somebody that like did you wrong, basically, like someone robbed you, for example, right? And now you got to deal with being robbed, right? So how do you deal with that? Do you go after this person? Like I'm a pretty vengeful type, so I would go after somebody, but honestly, you should not. It's such a waste of time, waste of effort, right? Like I don't recommend this to anybody. Like if you've been wronged by somebody, just think of that as payment from them that they'll be out of your life forever, and just accept it, you know. Let's say they borrow $20 from you and they don't want to pay it back. That was their payment to you, $20. I mean, that was your payment to them, $20 to get out of my life, because honestly, you don't want that kind of person around you in your life, right? You pretty much pay them to get out of your life, which is priceless. Getting rid of somebody like that, priceless. You don't want that kind of person around you in the first place. All right, so you have to have that kind of mentality, like, oh, every loss is a new gain, right? Every loss is a new opportunity to grow, right? You could take a bad incident and turn it into a new opportunity, right? Like for me, like when my car got smashed in, did I get upset? I actually was upset a little bit, but I didn't, dwell on it or anything, right? I took it on the chin and I took the next steps, right? I got it fixed. Filed a police report, and then I wasn't really like upset. I didn't cry about it. I wasn't there like calling people, like complaining. Like it happens. Stuff like this just happens. You can't really like be so depressed about it that to the point where you can't get anything done. You know what I'm saying? Like you deal with the bad news and then you move on, right? So I gave you a few ways to deal with it so far. Eat your favorite foods, do an activity to distract yourself from the bad news, and a third one that I really recommend. I think this is maybe a third or fourth one, right? The third way or fourth way that I like to deal with bad news is just talking it over with somebody you trust, right? And I really mean somebody you could trust, right? It's not just like anybody, right? Sometimes it could be a mom, sometimes it could be a dad, sometimes it could be a very close friend, right? But it can't just be an acquaintance, right? Because they're not gonna. Well, it could be also an acquaintance. I mean, it depends on the severity of the bad news. If it's like within reason and something you're willing to disclose to other people, yeah, by all means, share it, talking to them about the bad news, right? And then they'll offer you some insight. They're trying to make you feel better. That'll usually make you feel a little bit better, just to get some sympathy from other people. But I don't recommend this for the most part, just because not other people aren't going to be able to, you know, fix the problem, basically. Like you trying to reach out to them, expecting them to do something for you, is not the right way to look at it, right? It's more so them offering sympathy and, comfort for you. They're not going to be able to solve the problem, right? They will offer their sympathy for you, though. So that's another way to deal with it. I typically don't recommend this way, right? Because you don't really want to have something bad happen to you burden somebody else as well, if that makes sense, right? Yeah, you want to share it. Yeah, you want to get attention to make you feel better. Yeah, it's rough. You do want to share it with people and let them try to make you feel better, but it's not gonna help you get over it, because that's within you. You just got to get over it, right? Talking to somebody else isn't gonna help you get over it. If anything, it might actually make it worse because now you're bringing it up again and talking about it and giving it more existence, right? You're giving it more power than it should, if that makes sense, right? So like, you know, something bad happens. Now you're talking about. Now it still exists because you're talking about it, right? If you just like let it go, it's gone. It didn't even happen anymore, right? It was just a fragment in time that happened, and now it's gone. But if you continue talking about it, continue dwelling on it, now that thing is stuck with you, and now it's part of your memory. It's part of your history, right? And then just everybody you come in contact with to talk about it, they're now also a part of it now too. So, you want to deal with the bad news and then just move on, right? Like it's easier said than done, obviously. So I'm gonna give you another one more tip, right? Just to for you to deal with bad news, right? And it's basically like just distract your brain, basically. Like change the topic of your focus, right? Because it's crazy how your brain works, right? Your brain will be super focused on this one bad thing. It doesn't even know how to like think about other things. It's crazy, right? It'll be super dialed in. You have to get the mindset to shift completely, right? You have to like think about something else. You can't have it stay on one topic of this bad topic. Like you can't have it stay on it forever because your brain will just keep formulating crazier thoughts, right? Makes you keep formulating negative emotions based on these feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you want to do it, but like if you think about it that often, your brain will naturally do it by itself. Like it will just keep piling on the burden, if that makes sense, right? Because that's how your brain works. You like if you focus on it, you think about it, it just comes into more fruition, right? It becomes your focus, becomes all your identity almost, right? You become like kind of spiteful, you become angry. It literally changes your character, if that makes sense. So you don't want the bad news to affect you that way, right? You have to take it in, absorb it, and let it go. Okay? Don't give it more power. Don't give it physical form. Right? You gotta let it go. Okay? So hope you guys enjoy this quick little video of how I deal with bad news. Right? Gave you a few simple tips to get out of those little ruts, and let me know what you guys do yourselves to get you out of a how you deal with bad news. All right, let me know in the comments below what you do if something bad happened, like someone broke into your car, or your girlfriend left you, or a loving family member passed away, right? What would you do? Would you handle it? And yeah, drop it down in the comments below. Let me know your coping mechanism, minus weed. Okay. I'll see you in the next video, and peace.